government and the people of India, I extend a warm welcome to my dear friend, His Excellency Dr. Naif Falah Al-Hajraf, the Honorable Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, representing the 6 countries of the Gulf region. It is an honor to jointly host this press conference on the important occasion where we have agreed to pursue the free trade agreement between the GCC and India and resume the negotiations and conclude the same at the earliest. The GCC is already India's largest trading partner, with bilateral merchandise trade in the year 21-22. It was valued at $154 billion. Bilateral trade in services between India and the GCC stood at around $14 billion. India and the GCC have complementary business and economic ecosystems. While India plays an important role in the food security and contributes to the healthcare architecture of the GCC is a reliable partner in catering to India's energy security. The GCC countries contribute almost 35% of India's oil imports and 70% of our gas imports. I am sure the engagement with the GCC will be in tune with the truly unique and special relations enjoyed by the countries of the GCC region and India. I am quite confident that the two sides will set new benchmarks together. On this happy note, may I invite His Excellency Dr. Naif Falah M. Al-Hajraf to make his comments. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My very good friend and dear brothers, Piyush, Goyal, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Consumers Affairs, Food and Public Distributions and Textile of the Republic of India. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great honor to be here in this beautiful premises tonight on my 4th visit to New Delhi over the last year alone. It gives a reflection of how important the relation between the GCC and India is, and how keen and committed we are to take this relation to a higher level to serve our mutual interests. Over the last 2 years or so, the world has been hit by the pandemic, and the economic outlook looks uncertain, and it is the time to capitalize on the already existed strong relation between the GCC and India, a relation that has been tested many times, and every time it gets stronger and stronger, a relation that's based on mutual respect and values and friendship and understanding. This is the prerequisites to take this relation further. Tonight, we had a very long discussions and negotiation, which is usually a very healthy discussions between true and strategic partner. We are very keen to pursue the FTA negotiation between both sides. The intention is there, and we instructed the negotiation teams to finalize all the needed documents for an official resumptions for the FTA. I would like to highlight a few points here. An FTA, it's not an objective by itself. It is a mean to capitalize on what we have already existed unilaterally between India and all member states of the GCC, and unilaterally between the GCC as a bloc and India. 2, the FTA is very modern, that will cater for the new economy. We all have witnessed the world after COVID-19, and it's definitely not the world before. So business have entered into a new challenging era in which we would like to have it in a place to enhance our joint effort, whether it's for trade, investments, technology, climate change, food security, energy security, just to name a few. The relation between the GCC and India is deeply rooted in history. We very much appreciate the contribution made by the Indian expat living in the GCC countries and contributing to the GCC economy and vice versa. This is a mutual, a trusted relation. We are very keen to work with you, my friend, and looking forward for an official announcement for the FTA negotiation resumptions. Thank you for your hospitality, and it gives us all a pleasure to be here in New Delhi. On behalf of myself and my team, I do thank you and your team.
Welcome, friends. Now we can start the press brief. We will first take a few questions from the Indian media who are here, and then some media friends are also there virtually. We will take a few questions from there also. So we can begin. The first question, I think we can start with Mint. Yes, please.
He's okay.
Yeah, Amity, yes.
To start?
Dates will be finalized between the two teams. We have not decided. We don't discuss the dates and calendars of the negotiating teams. But as you are aware that India is already in negotiation with several other countries. Similarly, the GCC is also in negotiation with several other geographies. So we'll have to really match the calendars and get the thing going. In the meantime, of course, video conferencing and other communication means will be used to finalize in greater detail the terms of reference and the scoping exercise.
Yeah, New Indian Express.
So I'm Monica from the New Indian Express. So I want to know how much foreign investment can we expect from GCC under this FTA?
Well, the FTA will be a comprehensive economic partnership which will cover different aspects of trade, and will also look at certain aspects related to investment promotion, investment flowing between different countries. The exact contours of what can be expected is something which is bilaterally discussed between each country. So for example, you are aware that with UAE, we had a bilateral understanding that they are looking at nearly $100 billion of investment in India. With Saudi Arabia, when His Highness the Crown Prince was here, that time also we had indicated that Saudi Arabia was also looking at very large investments coming into India. That's something which is finalized bilaterally between each country. This is more in the nature of a free trade agreement. And a free trade agreement doesn't set, let's say, targets. It only sets the ground rules.
I think it's time we'll take a couple of questions from our friends who have joined us from the Gulf. Yeah, please, I can see your hand. You can begin, unmute yourself, and please introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hello, good evening to everybody. I'm Al Fardan from Al Bilad newspaper from Bahrain. If I want to question by Arabic to Mr. Farah, Dr. Farah. سؤالي هو حقيقة حول القطاعات الاقتصادية التي ممكن الخليج يستفيد منها خصوصا في التصدير. ما هي القطاعات الاقتصادية المستهدفة واللي راح تستفيد من الاتفاق التجارة الحرة؟ ومتى نتوقع الجدول الزمني؟ متى نتوقع توقيع هذه الاتفاقية؟ شكرا. Thank you.
And now I need to translate your question into English, so I will reply in English so the audience will understand, unless I have the permission to answer in Arabic. But I'll do the both because I think. Well, the question was, what are the economic sectors that will benefit from such an FTA agreement, and what is the time frame looks like? I think this is your questions more or less and very brief. As my friend Piyush was indicating, this is a very broad FTA, and it will reflects on a mutual agreed areas of interest to focus on. The FTA itself, it's not, as I said, it's not an objective. It's just the beginning to create this platform for the two economy to move forward on some sectors of mutual interest. We did highlight the food security, for example. We did highlight the energy security. Of course, technology and knowledge transfer will be part of it. This is our the item that probably will be seen in any FTA agreement, but for what the agreement that we are thinking of is something is modern and takes in account the business environments, as I said, after the COVID-19. The time frame, as you all know, there were 2 rounds of negotiation early in 2004, 2006, for some different reasons has been paused. And what we are tonight discussing is the time and the intention to resume such negotiation and to bring the negotiation teams back together according to an agenda that we are working to adopt both sides. So we will announce when will be the 3rd round of negotiation as soon as the negotiation team gets into all the details and technicalities that they always go into it. And I can assure you that there's a lot of technicalities that we'll leave it for them to decide when is the right time.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the region? Because we have... yeah, please go ahead. Yes. Unmute yourself and please.
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Hajaraf, I want to ask you, how is the Govt to sign this FTA, and has Govt signed with other countries similar agreements?
Can you please repeat? With the audio was slightly disturbed. Can you please repeat your question?
How eager is the Govt to sign this FTA? And has the Govt signed with others countries similar FTA?
Thank you for the question. I think we are actively engaged on other FTA negotiation, and as you all know, this sometimes gets very technical, and there is no set time that could be applicable for every FTA agreement or negotiation. It depends on so many variables, and I think this is what we are doing to enhance the economic and trade relation between the GCC as a bulk and other strategic partners. And it has all been decided with Al-Ula Summit, which took place in Saudi Arabia in January of 2021, and we will build on that directions, and we are moving with our effort with India, because India is very close to the GCC historically, and as well as being one of the largest partners to the GCC when it comes to trade.
I think I can see one more hand. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Yeah, Shailesh, you may.
सर मैं शैलेश यादव हूँ ANI से। सर किस किस सेक्टर पे बात हुई है आज की नेगोशिएशन की शुरुआत जो हुई है, और क्या कुछ रुपी के लेवल पे ही बात हुई, जैसे अभी इंडिया और रशिया के बीच रुपी और रूबल की बात हो रही है?
उसके लिए बहुत प्रीमेच्योर है, अभी तो कोई सेक्टर्स के ऊपर या किस तरीके से ट्रेड होगा वहाँ तक तो अभी बहुत आगे जाना है। अभी तो शुरुआत में फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का एक ओवरऑल क्या ढांचा रहेगा, क्या स्कोप रहेगा, क्या क्या विषय के ऊपर फ्री ट्रेड में हम चैप्टर्स रखेंगे, वहाँ से शुरू होती है फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट की गाथा। तो किस सेक्टर्स को लाभ होगा, नुकसान होगा, किस सेक्टर्स में रुपी ट्रेड हो, किन कंट्रीज़ के साथ रुपी ट्रेड हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता है, वो फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट रुपी ट्रेड के बारे में तो डिस्कस करेगा ही नहीं, वो तो बायलैटरल एक एक देश के साथ है। फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट अधिकांश सेक्टर्स को कवर करता है, पर किनको करेगा इस एग्रीमेंट में वो तो नेगोशिएशन के बाद ही मालूम पड़ेगा। You wanted to know which sectors will benefit and whether rupee-ruble trade will be a part of the agreement. So I said that sectors will be determined as they negotiate, and rupee-ruble or rupee and your local currency trade will depend on the bilateral arrangement with each country. That's not a part of the FTA.
With the permission of both the dignitaries and with a vote of thanks to both of them for sparing time and updating us on the developments that have happened today, I thank all of you for joining us for this press conference. I invite all of you to have dinner with us, and it's next door. And thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.